she is. There's the Tacoma Trooper. So it's pretty clean right now. It's kind of not normal. One take, one right back at you here. So anyways, I ran it through a car wash. I never personally washed this poor truck, and that's sad because if any of you know me or have known me personally about automobiles, have known me to keep my little sports cars pretty darn clean. But for some reason I feel less obliged to keep trucks clean. I'm not sure why I feel that way, but I've always felt that way ever since I was a kid. Growing up here in this sleepy little town, learned how to drive my first Jeep when I was 12 right out there on those hills. It was an old 48 CJ2A flatty. Great little Jeep. You know, back in the 80s when you didn't get in trouble for doing that stuff. So okay, some fairly large updates to the truck. I don't know if I shared with everybody that she got some new shoes, but she got some new shoes. It's no more Pro wheels. I'm rocking the SES Ray 10s. Super stoked on them. I think they're the right wheel. I like one, I like the looks. Two, I love the fact that they have a higher load rating than the factory TRD Pro wheels. Because let's face it, this poor truck has been porky, and I mean porky. I went to the Catskills. I think it was a half a tank of gas, but keep in mind I do have the long-range automotive fuel tank, so half a tank of that is almost a full tank to a regular Tacoma. That was $71.90, fully loaded, camping gear, a whole bit. So, anyways, of course I'm not that much now because 1, there's no bed. 2, there's no drifter. 3, there's no swing out. There's a ton of stuff that's not on the truck right now. So let's get down to some of the other changes that have happened. Of course, Bay Area Metal Fab shock relocate kit, but not. You notice they're not the 2-inch smoothies; they're the 2.5s, and they are the internal bypass. So pretty stoked on them. Antonio at Bay Area Metal Fab fabbed up these slick little mounts. He also did all the welding, or shall I say the install of the DMZ Fab frame plate kit. So the rear half of the Tacoma frame is now fully boxed. So that's all happy and healthy. It's really hard to tell the difference because, quite frankly, there's no weight on the back of the truck, so it's really hard to tell. So hopefully we can get started on this flatbed here real soon. The files are all done. I've done my absolute best to not share any images or details or anything about the flatbed, because the truth is I think I'm just going to go ahead and start to offer this as a product through the little company that I made, TRP Off-Road. Totally rad products. Anyways, so the company that sells those little antenna covers, you see that's a smoothie up there. I went ahead and had that designed by a really good friend of mine. Design worked out so well that we decided to do the 3rd generation Tacoma. That design as of today fits and is done. I will start to market that soon. And there's all kinds of other projects, and really they're projects that were just born from necessity for myself and want for myself. So I've got a bracket and mounting plate kit for front runner doors that Vagabond Outdoors puts on their Drifter and Nomad. I'm building this flatbed and bed sides to mount to a Nomad. So a Nomad is going to be on this, which is their, essentially their full-size camper shell, but it'll fit on my truck. Funny how that works. So anyways, flatbed will be soon released and offered by TRP Off-Road. I still haven't given it its kitschy name yet, but the first generation, or second generation I should say, Tacoma shark fin delete or antenna cover is called the oh, I can't even remember the name for my own product, the bullet cover. There we go. And then the brackets and mounting plate that will mount to the side of the exterior, to the side of the front runner doors. Those are going to be called side saddle brackets. And the third generation antenna slash, I think, fifth generation Forerunner antenna delete or shark fin delete will be called the side shooter cover. And still haven't figured out a name for the flatbed yet. So suggestions welcome. Put them down in the comments down below. Also secondary to all that, another thing that needs to happen is that front end right there. That front end needs work. She makes a ton of noise. The upper control arms and the king coilovers have about 60,000 miles on them. And so it's time to address some issues. So let's address some issues. That front end is going to get yanked apart. And irony is that this damn thing actually fits in my garage now. So I'm going to be doing that in my garage at home at my leisure, which I'll be really happy to take while I work on this. It won't be in somebody else's shop taking up somebody else's space and, you know, production space, that kind of stuff. So long story short, I'm going to rip that whole front end apart and give it a go over. It needs it. Been on the fence back and forth between lower control arms. I think I'm just going to hold off because I'd much rather put that money towards a solid axle. So there we go. Trooper update. Lots of info stuffed into this thing. Yeah, I'm really happy with everything. That long-range automotive tank, by the way, that tank is, I still think, one of the best, if not the best, modifications I've ever done to the Tacoma. And there's a lot of like bullet points I could hit for the reasons why I think it is, but just take my word, it's fucking phenomenal. The range that it gives you is amazing. However, it has one fatal flaw, and that is in its design. So everybody's having this burping issue where you fill up and out comes the fuel when it's full. I believe it's because of the height difference between this hump here and this here. So what's going on is your breather's right here, and that's removing pressure out of your fuel tank. That breather should be up here, not down here, because this is where it's going to have the most pressure built up. So what I plan to do is put a hole here, put a T here, and run a line to it, and that should equalize the pressure in the tank and discontinue the burping problem that we all have. I just wish they had taken care of that before they sold us a one-off SEMA design as a finalized finished product, but that's a whole different ball of wax to try and melt. All right, guys, keep on trucking.